After the patrons voted for and funded the CZ75 BD being on the channel, well, aside from facts and controls and like sizes and dimensions and all that, which I will go into a little bit better in the article, I figured it'd be good to shoot all these again because it's been a while. So I've got my blue barrel here. I'm going to set off a timer, pick up the gun, rack it. Why rack it? Well, because grabbing those slides is one of the things that I challenge with, and I want to see if there's a difference, since most people grew up with slide over frame and square slides. Learning if one of these slides is easier to grab than another might be valuable. Then at 7 yards into our infinite defense target, which is pretty tired. I don't know about you guys, but I have not had the lifespan out of these I expected. Anyways, I'm going to dump 6, transition over, and then a speed and accuracy group 5 on our little glowy target there. I'm hoping that the target camera down here can have a wide enough frame and that I can, in editing, zoom and pan fast enough for you guys to see those hits. But the idea is we're going to take a look at those results. Yeah, I have the headphones on so I can make sure I've still got audio. Take a look at those times and those hits. And that'll be kind of a shooting refresher. Most of these guns I haven't shot in years, aside from the 75 BD. And then the rest of the information comparison will be in the article over on gbgunsdepot.com. Of course, check the pinned comment. Dang it, I wish I hadn't said the .com part, since YouTube's now demonetizing videos that link to my website because I don't sell anything on my website. Who knows? Anyways, I appreciate the suggestion and the idea. I'm going to get set up and get moving on this. First, of course, was the most original, the CZ75, although this being a BD model, meaning that it is a decocker with the spring-loaded return. I love that feature. I was impressed with overall ergonomics, concerned initially at the lack of checkering on the front strap or back strap. There's no texture there whatsoever. However, with an all-steel gun and a slide this long, I found it very easy to control and a very pleasant shooter. Now let's take a look at that run. Doing this completely cold, just got to the range 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So I'm gonna start with the CZ75 BD. Remember, what we're looking for here or hoping to gain is an idea of speed of handling, speed control, and accuracy control, all on guns that I haven't really shot or touched in a long time. Deeper thoughts will be in the article. Here we go, starting with the CZ75 BD. Decocking. And that came out to 9.81. Immediate thoughts? That was very comfortable, very easy gun to do it. I was a little nervous not looking at the gun, reaching to grab and rack the slide, but I was still able to do it, so maybe not as bad as we thought. Group's pretty good, especially for being completely cold, and a gun system that's not really my thing. Let's keep moving. The Kilinc, or Kilinc 2000 Mega. Now this has gone through different names as it's changed importers. This was a Sarsilmaz gun imported by TR Imports back in the day. Nowadays, SAR USA imports this under a slightly different name, but you guys get the idea. It is effectively a CZ75, a direct clone, including a safety that swipes down for safe, up for fire. That's something that can take some getting used to. I believe the theory would be that on your draw stroke, you are disabling the fire, or disabling the safety and taking it ready to fire. Just a little bit of training to get used to that. Gun feels really nice. The trigger on this feels a little bit nicer than it does on my actual CZ. I don't know if that's because this has more rounds through it, or if there was a little more attention to detail paid to this version of the gun. Sarsilmaz Mega 2000, essentially the exact same thing. No decocker. Did not group as well. 788, definitely faster. I felt like I could run it harder. I don't know how it looked in that bill drill, but I was definitely able to push more, and I had better visibility of these sights, even though they're just white dot sights. They, to me, are a little bit better than the supposedly glow-in-the-dark ones that came on the CZ75. Grip felt better. Gun just felt more solid, more ready to be driven hard. The P8L is a somewhat competition-oriented gun. CZ75s have been very popular in competition throughout Europe. This one we do have front strap texturing, however it's going the wrong direction. These cuts should be lateral to help resist the gun trying to rotate in hand. All these vertical ones do is help with swimming, which an all-steel gun really doesn't want to do. Same thing on the back strap. We do have rubberized grips that have a nice contour to them. The gun feels very nice in hand. This one is more like a 1911 safety, where up is your safe, down is fire, and you could rest a thumb on there. Nice big ledges. Squared off slide. Add some slide mass. They subtracted from that with these angled cuts. Those aren't just straight through, they're at an angle, which technically removes more material. But I like the squared off slide because it's a little more surface area to grab onto, and this has a ported barrel and slide. Now this is before ports became all the rage as they are in 2024, so you notice they're rather conservative, they're rather small. That's minimal loss in velocity, also keeps the gun a lot quieter than some of the big port versions of it, or the bigger ports that you see on modern trending guns. Now let's see how it did in the run. Now on to the SAR P8L with its square top slide and ported barrel. All right. 723, that port makes a difference. It was way easier to drive, and the gun felt ready to go much quicker. Definite edge to port on the P8L. The IWI Jericho II, also known as Jericho Enhanced, also is known as 941 Enhanced. There's a lot of different naming for this. It's a little bit confusing. As I understand, that comes down to a difference between what IWI Israel wanted to call it and what IWI US wanted to call it. Polymer framed, we have a longer snout, longer dust cover. We have actual rail space. That gives it a different look and feel, and nice microfissure texture from about the time that that was starting to become a thing. It's a very comfortable gun in hand. I also like that the slide is less triangular, I guess you could say, and that we've got definite widening back here, so you really have a place to grip for grabbing the slide. Those are all functional improvements over the CZ75. However, in the initial review of this, I wasn't too impressed with the gun. The trigger feels like, well, what happens when you have metal pins going through polymer, that there's a little bit of give, a little bit of rough there. And the sights, and this is something that became famous after my review, I had a very early review on it, but the sights are set for like a 25 meter zero or something like that. And so as a result, they hit markedly low at anything under 25 meters. It's something that you can train to get around, but it's something that is also annoying when it's only a gun you pick up every once in a while and you've got to remember. So let's see how that run went. Now moving to a polymer frame, but one of the newer iterations, the IWI Jericho II with its slightly squared rear. I'm remembering the whole 25 meter sight issue thing causing low hits, which is what we saw here. I definitely did not have the same control of this that I did of the steel gun, nor did the trigger seem quite as ready for me. And I really apologize, guys, for that infinite defense target kind of not being really easy to see things on anymore. It's what I've got. I have another target that came in to replace it from another company that even looks a little bit cooler, and I forgot it at home today. The CM9 is an interesting one. This was a Sarsilmaz gun imported by TR Imports. They are somewhat still imported by SAR USA now, and they have changed generations. I think this is generation 1, looking at the serrations. I can't tell what else has changed since then. My communication with SAR USA has been rough, to say the least, so I can't really tell you much. I reviewed this gun back in 2017, found it very comfortable to shoot, very comfortable to hold, nice square slide so you got something easy to grab. My one gripe though is this safety, that it clicks off and gives you a click, requires some good resistance, which is how a safety should be. I have had a gun where the detent got soft and it would come off safe way too easily. That disturbed me a bit. That's probably not going to happen on this. Activating the safety is a pain in the butt. It's really, really stiff on this gun. That won't matter for everyday use. It would, however, prevent me from taking it to a course, because I don't want to have to shift my grip and struggle every time I've got to reholster it and put it back on safe. But other than that, had a nice trigger to it. I liked a lot of things about this gun. I don't know if any of that was improved with the Gen 2. Let's see how the run went. Polymer and compact, the Sarsilmaz CM9 Gen 2 with its square top. Ah. That grouped nice. I screwed myself there. 976, despite the flutter. No redos on this channel. I tripped up simply because I hadn't shot the thing in a long time. The trigger is so light and just kind of floats. Now keep in mind, this is an older import. I don't know if the current ones are like this, but it's, you don't come to a wall. You start to feel that you start to feel the wall and it breaks. Not crisply, it rolls through that, but it's just like as soon as you feel resistance, it's gonna fire. That threw me for kind of a loop, and it was shooting easier than expected. The ergonomics on this thing are great. The finger grooves for my hand fit really well, so it was comfortable there. The B6C is a polymer frame compact. Oddly, 13 rounds in the mag with a nice rest on there to allow for a full hand grip with my very large hands. Very comfortable, lots of toe space there to be able to apply pressure and keep the nose down. They did the IWI trick of widening the slide at the rear here so you've got something to grab. Pretty nice gun. The catch, I think, compared to today's guns is the capacity is low for the size. This should at least be a 15 round gun, if not more, if they wanted to go to you know, some Magic Magazine type setups. This is significantly lighter and smaller than the others, which of course is going to lead to more challenge in a speed run. But for carry, it's pretty practical, and I recall when Miss Tia shot this, she was really impressed with it. We even went to the length of getting a holster for it because she thought about carrying it before she discovered it's still a bit large for her particular frame and position of carry. But definitely a nice gun. Let's see how that run went. And our last and smallest item is the polymer framed compact Sarsilmaz B6C. Why did I not get slide lock? I must have loaded an extra or missed. 1107. All I can say is I felt like I had less control with that, which would make sense, it being the smallest gun and I believe the lightest gun. Now all specs and everything, of course, will be in the article. That's where we'll find the real stuff. Now, as a reminder, this is a series because there's so many of these and so much to go through. For full information, check the pinned comment or head over to the website. Sorry about the censorship happening here on YouTube yet again, which is of course why we set up that website and why it has a mailing list. Yes, folks, I pay several $100s per year to be able to notify you guys when stuff comes out over there. But that's where you'll see the ranking of all these as well as current pricing. Some of them I was pretty surprised by. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.